Hi guys, and welcome back to another Let's Build episode. So last time we started on the town of Riverside, which is a Skyrim inspired little village just in this mountain valley. Now if you're new to the channel at all, we do a lot of tutorials and time lapses just like this one, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also guys, if this is the first time you're seeing this series, I'll leave a link in the card above and also in the description so you guys can catch up on this time-lapse series. Anyway, let's get into building. So of course we need to start off this episode with something that is quite iconic of the Skyrim kind of series, or at least I find it is anyway, which is the Blacksmith. So Alvor's Blacksmith from Riverwood, and of course there is others as well. This building kind of gets used quite a lot throughout the Skyrim world in one shape or another. But yeah, it's one of my favourites. I don't know why. I think it's because it's kind of like that kind of iconic building that we kind of see, you know, very early on in the game, and it's kind of really tied to everything. It's the first kind of real like shopkeeper kind of person that you actually get to speak to. So keeping the same kind of style, but again, kind of bending it as well. So kind of making it a little bit more Nordic and adding a bit more style in there, and again messing up the roof. But I was really happy with how this actually worked out. I think it looks really cool. Then just coming around to the side of this, we had this kind of really angled kind of area. So I decided to do a 45-degree house, and initially I'd made it too big, because the thing that you find if you guys have ever done 45-degree angle houses, you tend to always make them bigger because you just take your normal house and then move it to the side. But of course there is, it always looks bigger because it is. So that always happens. So I had to kind of downsize it. But it's still quite a big interior as well, so it's not, I've not actually lost anything from downsizing it a bit, but it was better than it being absolutely massive. So we've got that there, and also in front of that, just having a nice little area, but it fits really nicely next to the river, so that's the main thing. Now going back onto the river island, we had this nice little spot from last time that we actually did the episodes, so episode 1 of this series. And yeah, I kind of wanted to finish that up with just a normal nice little house, and again using angled houses. This one for some reason was really difficult, just with how the roof was. I just kept on like having to play around with it. I think it's because of how it angled, and also trying to angle that kind of roof and make it have a curve to it. For some reason I found it really difficult, but got there in the end, and I was pretty happy with how it actually turned out. So the next thing, and the kind of like biggest part of this build, is going to be the Jarl's Palace. I've actually wanted to build this for absolutely ages. So this one is taken mostly from the one from Falkreath, but again, because of the Skyrim kind of assets, gets reused quite a lot in the game. It's also in a couple other places that I can't even remember the names of, but yeah. So building this up and having it tiered, and similar to how the inn is actually made, it's got this kind of extra kind of bit going around the side, which is just a couple blocks out. So using that actually really worked, and already having that figured out from the inn simplified this a lot. But yeah, quite a big building, lots of tiers to it as well. So we've got yeah, the main kind of hall, we've got these 2 side rooms off to the side of it, and then above that we've got 4 different kind of areas kind of sticking out from that. So it's got quite a lot of room, especially vertical, and then of course it's almost got this like tower in the middle. So there you go, you can see me putting in the last bits of details in order to get the curved roof again. And I want to go out quite a lot. So what I found with this, doing this kind of style, if you've got a longer kind of roof that you can actually curve it with, you build the roof like you're going to be normal, and you just build on top of that, and you can kind of see that with how I've got the planks and stairs in spruce, and that kind of really works. And especially on your interior as well, when you're doing the kind of ceiling of that roof, it makes it a lot easier, but doesn't detract from your actual style, and then you can just mess up the roof with, in this case I'm using birch stairs as my kind of thatch material. That then makes it look really good, but there you go, lots of details on the outside of this one. Now of course the people need to eat, and we've also got this nice little path, so I wanted to kind of predefine a nice little path here to that'll go up to this kind of like hill, and I'm thinking of doing some sort of ruins up there, and going again with a really nice Skyrim kind of theme for most of this area. But we need to get some farms. They need somewhere where they can actually grow a couple crops, so these are quite small fields. But I think the idea will be that most of their kind of income comes from the logging, so that makes a lot more sense. But they have, of course, still got some fields, and it's something that you would have in medieval times as well. You have quite a lot of fields because it makes a lot of sense to grow your own crops. So yeah, we got just I think I've got beetroot, carrots, and some wheat. One of the fields I've actually got fallowed, so that means that it's currently not being used to grow crops, and they used to do this as crop rotation. So I know I've talked about that before. and then just also filling up the rest of the forest as well, so making it a bit more dense. So here we go, we've got the sawmill right on the side there, so that's going to be where most of their income comes from, so a lot of them are going to be loggers. I have only cut down a couple of the trees just to put in the stumps, just for more of an effect, because I really like the kind of forest that's around it. We've got the river island part, which I'm really happy with how this turned out. So we've got the inn and we've got the trader on there, we've got a couple of houses, so that's the main feature of this village. We've got the blacksmith there, which I'm really happy with how those curves actually turned out. I think it really fits the style well. So there we go, that central island. And of course we've got the small bridges going onto this island as well. So if they were under attack, they could of course take down these bridges. They are then a bit stuck, that's the only thing. I did think about doing a palisade wall with this as well, and I might do that when I get around to the interior, especially around the Jarl's palace, the kind of big building that we've got at the end, but I'm really happy with how that has all turned out. So anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and if you have, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And again guys, if it's the first time seeing this series, make sure to check it out, and it will be in the description so you guys can go and check that out. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.